This program is brought to you by Tab. We're on. Download the app today. What are you really gambling with?
Hello, I'm Caroline Searcy. Welcome to Thoroughbreds Are Go with the latest information about rehoming thoroughbreds around Australia. Coming up in this week's show, the latest newcomers to the Australian breeding industry. TBA's FastTrack students graduate in a ceremony at Scone Racecourse, furthering the links between the equestrian and thoroughbred worlds. Daughter of Olympian and passionate thoroughbred advocate Merv Bennett, Vicki Cowdroy, retraining ex-race horses and teaching young riders, including her daughter Maddie, about the joys of working with the breed. And another old favourite, Godolphin's trekking in Arrowfield studs beyond the winning post. Where are they now? That's all coming up on this edition of Thoroughbreds Are Go. Thoroughbred Breeders Australia's FastTrack program has already trained up many people new to the breeding industry who are now in great careers right around the country. The graduation ceremony for the 2023 crop was held recently at Scone Racecourse, and some of these graduates are guaranteed to be the leaders of the industry in coming years. Maddie, what a great night it's been here with the Thoroughbred Breeders Australia FastTrack graduation ceremony for 2024. What an outstanding group of young people.
Yes, it's absolutely amazing class this year, and they've all gotten a huge amount from the year. They've been a great group, and we're very excited to celebrate tonight and see them in the next chapter and what they do both in the industry and what the next steps are.
Tell us about what they've done this year. So started out May 2023. What's been the progression through the 12 months?
Yes, so the FastTrack program begins with an intensive learning block at the TAFE New South Wales campus in Scone. And of course, because FastTrack is a national program, we have students all over Australia that join us for that first 4-week block in Scone. From there, we do a range of activities. So we visit a lot of farms around the area. We have guest speakers talk about careers and possibilities and what next for these graduates as they go into the next chapter.
We did obviously a little bit of media stuff with them as well, so we've actually seen some of these people. Tell us a little bit about what some of them have done. I mean, what some of them have really sort of got out of this and what they might be doing in the future.
With FastTrack, it's not just the lessons, the theory and the practical that they're getting from it. We're trying to develop them as people, so we go into well-being, we do a bit with side-by-side training, practical skills that they'll use on farm as well. So of course you yourself have been introduced to this group in our second block at TAFE, where you spoke to the group and gave them some advice on how to do these interviews. So that was a great session. And moving on from that 4-week block, they do go onto farm and they are around there for about 6 months before they commence their next intensive learning block, which is only a 2-week block. They come back to TAFE. So they complete that, we do another range of activities, we focus more on the young horse handling, and then of course they come back in May when we actually have our current intake for this year starting, and we have this wonderful occasion where we get to celebrate and cheer them on to the finish line.
We open the applications up, and like every morning we come to the office and it's like, how many now? How many now? What are they like? And you know, we're really keen to see who the next people who are going to come through the course are, and excited to bring new people into the industry, or perhaps for people who have already just started on a farm to be able to try and provide a pathway that will lead them to stay in the industry for longer.
Kyle,
just being able to experience everything that the industry has to offer. You know, we get the opportunity to go behind the scenes at vet clinics and farms as well, that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do just being, you know, working in the industry as normal.
And it's important to see all the different facets, isn't it, really? And then pick out what area you like the best.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, through the course I've been able to experience a range of things through veterinary work to covers and working with the yearlings and mares very closely as well.
Have you found you enjoy the breeding side maybe more than some of the racing stable side?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, the early mornings with racing are a little bit difficult, but it definitely feels more rewarding. You can follow your foal from when they're born right through up until sale and even through racing, and it's such a great feeling.
I've enjoyed all aspects of it really. I've got to touch bases on most things: yearling preparation, weaning preparation, bit of time with the stallions, foaling down, brood mares. You really cover all bases doing the FastTrack program.
I mean, Maddie and the whole team, they're so passionate about really instilling in you guys a great work ethic and the passion for the industry, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and they set you on a great path, and they give you the opportunity to go to a stud farm and experience what you like, and whether it be like the avenues I mentioned before, and diversify yourself, and maybe you like one avenue more than the other and take particular interest. So no, it's been great.
It's good, I think, for anyone in the breeding industry to have had some racing experience, but also racing people and training, to have had some stud farm experience. I guess you now have the best of both worlds in your knowledge bank, really.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's great to come across and you see obviously having a racing background, you follow the horses that run and you see them. I'm working for Yulong now, and we just recently purchased Imperatriz, which is a great coup. So yeah, like that side of it keeps you really interested and keeps you motivated to get up every morning and look after these valuable, interesting animals. Yeah, Mr. Zhang's doing a great job with buying some valuable mares, and as you mentioned with the stallions, I think they quinelled the Golden Slipper with Written Tycoon and Piarada, and I think the Blue Diamond as well, if my memory serves correct. So the stallions are doing a very good job at the moment.
Yeah, even if you get fed up with the hands-on, you got a good job in marketing for Yulong.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you wear the Yulong hat, yeah.
It's amazing to have made it through the 12 months of FastTrack and to get to this point. I think we should all be really proud of ourselves that we've made it through the whole cycle of a season on a thoroughbred stud, and it's really exciting to have made it to graduation tonight. The main thing would be just the amount of care and time that goes into raising them, from everything that goes in from prior to them being born to, you know, birthing them, the foaling down, the weaning stage, everything that goes in that process from birth to getting them to a sale. It's just an incredible process with the amount of work that gets put in along the way. Being at Beamer has been amazing. There's so much support from everyone there, and it's such an amazing place to work with a great atmosphere. They've had so many graduates go through, whether it's be people or horses, you know, with the likes of Imperatriz and the excitement that was brought up around that. So it's been an amazing place to get the experience over my FastTrack program.
I've taken so much from it. I've been lucky to be put on a stud that really likes to get you involved with every aspect of the farm. I've been on brood mares and foals, yearling prep. I've also handled weanling, so it's been very good. Giving me heaps of opportunity of every aspect that I'm interested in, but also pushing me that bit extra to try things that I'm not so confident with. They've been very, very good.
One of my favourite things on farm was definitely the foal handling. Like, I love being introduced to them as foals and then watching them progress up until they're weaned and then sent over to the yearlings. It was great seeing them grow up. I'd like to in the future possibly do a bit of vet nursing and maybe specialise in equines. Like, I'd love to work up at the Scone Equine Hospital in the future. It would be an awesome experience.
And Thoroughbreds Are Go, this program, it is about linking the equestrian world with the thoroughbred breeding and racing world, and it really does that. And I guess, you know, people, if they do, even if they don't, but if they do have some pony club background or some background in horses, this course is just perfect for you.
Definitely. All we ask from our trainees or even applicants before they get on the program is that they have a passion for horses and are willing to work hard. And if you can have those two qualities, then FastTrack is a perfect option for you.
Currently at Almavale, still working out my options. Ideally, I'd like to work more in foaling now and still do a bit of yearlings on the side. So we'll just see where it takes me from now.
Yeah, but passionate about the industry.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's great, and I reckon I'll be here for life.
FastTrack 2023.
A wonderful course, and looking forward to following the class of 23 and their future careers in the Australian breeding industry. Coming up after the break on Thoroughbreds Are Go, Vicki Cowdroy, another expert horsewoman with a passion for repurposing thoroughbreds off the track. Last year we brought you a wonderful story about Australian Olympian Merv Bennett, who competed with great success on thoroughbreds around the world, and co-trainer son John Bennett, who heads up the Royal Sydney Easter Show. Merv's daughter Vicki Cowdroy is also an expert horsewoman where thoroughbreds are concerned and enjoys retraining them off the track and encouraging young riders, including her daughter Maddie, to love the breed as much as she does. Vicki, I've been dying to catch up and do this interview. It's been fantastic to see your whole family so immersed in the thoroughbred world.
We're definitely all dedicated. Obviously, Dad competed thoroughbreds. We're all very passionate about the thoroughbreds. We get around. So we do compete heavily and have a lovely team. We retrain and on-sell. It's a really important thing to bring them on and then sell them down to the next generation of kids coming through, and to really provide them with that next level. So it's a holistic thing with the family. We have the training obviously with Dad, and then he also has a breeding program, then on to the show jumping with us, and we have great fun with them.
And your father Merv, we know of course a bronze Olympic medalist for Australia on a thoroughbred, and John Bennett is president of the RAS as well, your brother. So it really is there in the family, and training horses and breeding them. But it really is fascinating how, you know, we talk about the genetics of horses. The genetics, they're there in your blood, aren't they, to love this breed?
Definitely are. I think that they're a special breed. I think you have a bit of an affinity with certain breeds. I certainly have an affinity with the thoroughbred. I love the extra challenge that they present. If you can work with them, they will work with you. They will try so hard. Fortunate this weekend, 2 young ones stepping up, both done very, very well. Not necessarily in the winning place this weekend, but little wins for each individual horse, and that's more important than anything else.
Yeah, because it is a progression, as we've talked about with a lot of people. You know, the progression, whether they've raced or not raced or whatever, they're still thoroughbreds. They still have that wanting to go and wanting to go forward sort of ability and real desire. Tell us about your program of what you would do with a horse that's come off the track. You know, what sort of time frames involved? What do you like to do with them?
I'm a child of Dad. I like lots of grids. So we do a lot of grid work with our horses. We spend a lot of time building their athleticism for the jump and the power. Obviously, it's a very different shape that they're making. So we do a lot teaching them to be snappy in front with the bounces and things like that. So we do a lot of home education for them. We do a lot of putting them on the truck and taking them out and not necessarily jumping them. I tend to take a big team away. Coming away with 2 horses is extremely rare for me. So coming away, I usually take quite a big team, up to sort of 6 horses. Sometimes there'll be horses on there that are just coming to learn that life is relaxing and lovely, and that I am who is home. It's not necessarily the place that's home, but I'm home. So wherever I am, they're comfortable, they're happy, they know they're provided for. That's then good building blocks. And then when you go out into the arena, it's a bit scary. That arena out there today is very electric. The horses get out there, they light up like Christmas trees. Going out there, they then look to you and say, "You're my home, you're my trust." Okay, you've said it's okay, it's good.
And your parents must be so proud of, you know, yourself, John, Jodie, of course, your sister as well, who's competed at the highest of levels as well, and her daughter is riding as well, so again, it's right in the family. But from your point of view, you know, your father as an Olympian, yourself, down to Maddie.
I work a lot with thoroughbreds. I've got a team of pretty much 5 at the moment, and I cannot see myself riding anything else.
Now, Maddie received a Carbine Club check to go towards her off-track horse, her Thoroughbred, because she entered a competition and was the best, you know, it was the best response as a junior rider of a Thoroughbred. Do you sort of understand more about how your mum and dad feel about you? Now you've got Maddie, who's so entrenched in it as well.
I was fortunate. I was 13 and found myself a little bit horseless, and was very fortunate. Brother John coughed up his good Thoroughbred, wonderful horse called Mick Dundee, who raced as the Baffler. I've taken the same with Matt, handing down good Thoroughbreds to the next generation. And she's really blossomed. So she's produced now a couple of Thoroughbreds up to metre 20, metre 30 level herself from the ground. And so transferring those skills, great skill to have through life, and that'll set her up right the way through the rest of her life.
What do you think about people that are retraining horses? Because there are a lot of people saying, oh yeah, I can take a horse off the track, I can retrain it in 3 months, I can do this, I can do that. What is the right model to do it the right way, that the horse isn't rushed? How long does a Thoroughbred take to really adapt to all of this?
I think that's the $1 million question, and I think it's, you have to have the feel. I've had certain horses come off the track 90 centimetres, metre 10, metre 20. Others, I've been stuck at 90 centimetres for 18 months, and then suddenly they go 90 metre 20, metre 30, and they blossom really quickly. You have to have the feel. They're the kind of horse where they respect you having a feel for them, and you have to listen. That feeling on takeoff when, oh, they just stalled for a microsecond, I might be pushing them. Or, geez, they came off the ground really well, really strong, they're feeling really confident. Okay, we'll push it a little bit, we'll go the next height. It's all about feel, it's all about listening. And some of them have some complexities of injuries and things like that, that if you listen to them, and they're quite good at communicating to us, if you listen well enough, they will tell you what it is and you can manage that. But unfortunately, too many people don't listen to the animals and try to treat them like a machine. They're not. And it's not a cookie cutter approach. And I think that's where Maddie and I have been most successful, because we don't use the cookie cutter. It's every horse is its own animal. What I've really enjoyed seeing, particularly here, I've spent a lot of time talking to a lot of the sponsors and particularly previous owners who are certainly putting more invested time in trying to find the right home for their horses beyond the end of their racing career. It's certainly challenging as a rehomer to have the contacts into the industry to find the right horses, but also to be able to network on then and find the right horse for the rider. I don't sell my horses to just anyone. I take great pride in really trying to match the horse to the rider. And we've had numerous instances where, no, that horse isn't actually right for you. It's so important that there's a range of avenues, and not just for the competitive side. I've had a range of horses that just don't want to do it. And they want to go and do trail riding, they want to be a paddock ornament. I had one who had a bit of an injury that was going to stop him being a top-level show jumper, but he hated being in the paddock, absolutely detested it. He would come to the stable every day, put his head over, Mum, what are we doing? And he lit up when you put the saddle on. He loved it. We worked really hard to find the right home for him, to make sure he had somewhere that was going to be stimulating enough for him without overstressing the injury that he had. So he was a bit special.
This is the other thing, the juggle of working full time and juggling these horses. It's a massive commitment by yourself. Do you think Maddie will continue, like maybe have some work but really stay focused in the horses?
It's quite common for particularly young girls. They hit the sort of 17, 18 mark and go off and get their second jobs and all of that. And horses are a huge commitment. Similar to me, I did the same thing. I stepped well away from horses and went to the other side of the country. But when you have that skill, it's a skill for life. It's in your blood. You can't help it. You get a little bit older, you get a bit more settled, and I definitely think Maddie will come back to jumping and jumping competitively. It is one of those things with Mads, she loves to be hugely competitive. So for her, she doesn't want to do it at this level, she wants to do it at the elite level, which is obviously a massive amount of commitment. But we are fortunate in the fact that she always has the option to come and get a catch ride on any of my going ones. So definitely a family affair.
Another extremely passionate thoroughbred expert, and what a family history there is with the thoroughbred breed. Coming up after the break on Thoroughbreds Are Go, Godolphin Group 1 winner trekking, a shining light for Godolphin Lifetime Care in Arrowfield Studs. Beyond the winning post, where are they now?
It's all trekking for the Blue Army, and trekking's won the Stradbroke.
Taylor, it's so wonderful seeing trekking and Haraki here today. We'll look at Haraki in coming weeks on Thoroughbreds Are Go. But trekking, what a wonderful horse he was. Of course, by your own street cry here at Darley Godolphin. 43 starts. He won $5.8 million, this son of Street Cry. Tell me what he's doing now, because he looks so good just as a natural horse with his woolly winter coat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess being such a successful racehorse for Godolphin, he's one that we've retained, and he'll become a flag bearer of the Godolphin Lifetime Care program. And his role as a flag bearer is to really promote the program and the versatility of the thoroughbred breed more generally throughout his life after racing.
And so at the moment, I mean, I love just watching these horses. They get on the truck. They're so used to everything, aren't they? It's not as if you've got to start from scratch with a horse like him. We know he won races like the Testarossa. He won his first start at 2, a Hallmark Luskin Star. He won a Stradbroke, a Scalacci, was third in an Everest. He went to Perth. He came back, won a Goodwood, and all those Group 1 placings. I mean, he's been there and done that, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely been in the limelight, and it's great to see now that he is retired. We've been able to take him out and about to various industry and community events, and one of those was a trip to our local aged care facility, and to see the horses come back and relax and engage with people in wheelchairs, or those that aren't as quick at moving out of the way. He's definitely loved the carrots and attention, and it's fantastic and really quite moving to be a part of.
And also kids. I mean, the biggest thing is, I guess, the industry showing that this is an agricultural industry, isn't it? I mean, the thoroughbred breeding world is all about bringing up these beautiful horses. We're here right near the stallion area where these horses have been conceived, a lot of them, and to really sort of show kids. And he's done a bit of work with that as well, hasn't he already?
Yeah, most recently we went to, it's called the Jack Johnson Day as part of the Scone Horse Festival, and we took him and another retired racehorse, Uzo, in there, and a few of the Godolphin staff came in and really taught the kids about the industry and what we do, and then at the end they got to feed them and pat them, which they gladly accepted. And it's really cool to see the kids getting so excited to hear about the amount of prize money that the horses have won throughout their racing career.
And I loved him here with his mate Haraki as well. I mean, as I said, he had the loads of Group 1 placing, so punters in racing might get a bit frustrated, but what I love seeing these horses out here is you see that they are animals, and they've tried their best. They, even gold medalists don't win gold at every single Olympic Games they go to. But to see them with their woolly coats, you're not rugging them, you just let them be natural.
No, when they retire, we give them a spell, and they just we'll gradually move them out into the paddocks and into a larger herd. So at that stage, we'll start to reduce the amount of rugging so that they're not injured when they're playing, and not ripping rugs and tearing them to pieces between each other playing. But yeah, I guess it's all about bringing them back to their natural environment and letting them be a horse again.
And I'm sure there are plenty of staff here. I mean, you can see all the staff that are helping today, that they love seeing these horses return here. A lot of, especially the homebreds, but even the horses from Europe or any of the horses that have been bought by Godolphin. But it's really interesting to see where they go on to from here, because Godolphin Lifetime Care, your real passion too is to get them, having a job. So what's the future for trekking?
Yeah, well, we're looking to place him with a custodian where they can explore his competition potential. I myself think that it would be a great show hack. So yeah, really looking for someone that's interested in being a part of the program and going through that education process with him to take him out and start competing.
And you must love your job. I mean, being involved with these great horses and making sure they get great homes in the future, it's just a dream job, isn't it?
It is, and it's so rewarding. Like I said before, with the aged care facilities and going to all the industry events is really quite cool to be a part of. And the film you did before with Hartnell and Cheryl Lee saying, you know, she can't really go anywhere without someone stopping her in the tracks to give him a pat and recognise him out and about. It's really cool to see that kind of interaction from the public, and some people don't even know them that well, and you know, they stop and speak to Cheryl Lee and start to recognise the horse and what they've achieved in their racing career and now as a off the track horse as well. It's really quite special.
That's all for this week on Thoroughbreds Are Go. Join me again next week for the final show of the season as we meet FastTrack graduate Abby Wheatland, now a stallion handler at Darley Kelvinside, and with her own off-track thoroughbred to boot. That and much more. I'm Caroline Searcy. Look forward to seeing you then.
This program is brought to you by Tab. We're on. Download the app today. What are you really gambling with?